Welcome back to From the Shed End. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, as always, please make sure you hit that subscribe button before you do anything else in this video. We've got a lot to unpick. We've got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about in terms of the performance yesterday. This video would have been out, this live stream would have been done yesterday, but as always, things can never go well if you're a Chelsea fan. Yes, we won 2-0. But if I can show you the effects of my iPad, because my iPad is an absolute mess. Let me see if I can find the video. Don't know if anyone can see that, but that's the state of my iPad currently. That's the state of the iPad. That's the state of the iPad as it is. So that was the down part of the of basically yesterday. And how things went. But in terms of the match, let's get involved. Let's talk about the match. Let's talk about the match because the match was decent yesterday. Let's get the lineup up first of all. If you're new, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But this was the team that we went with. So it was a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen, we knew that they were going to be difficult in terms of the performance that we thought we were going to get a difficult performance. We never got a difficult performance from them at all. But our lineup was Jurgensen in goal, who we thought was going to be, given the opportunity. I think a lot of Chelsea fans wanted to see Jurgensen in the chance to score, to give us opportunity in what he could do. We had Malo Gusto right back, Josh Ashiempong right centre back, Trevor Chalobah, again left centre back, Marc Cucurella was left back, Moises Caicedo with Andre Santos, Estevão, who we're going to get onto in a minute because he had an absolute brilliant game yesterday. We're also going to talk about Cole Palmer, Tariq George, Liam Delap up front for us as well yesterday. Now, I got to be honest, I think that was a really good lineup that Maresca went with. I thought he got it right in terms of what we needed. And I'll tell you one thing, it did show yesterday that we've got a lot of depth. And our attacking threat is brilliant. Our attacking threat is brilliant going forward. If you go back to last season, we just was not good in our attacking phases. You think back to Madueke, the number of times Madueke would have the ball, then he would suddenly stop and slow the game down. And to be fair, Gittins did do that a little bit when he came on. He did do that a little bit in terms of slowing the ball down, slowing the pace down. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I don't know if you guys in the chat can see that, but my camera's trying to focus, way focus over the top. So I apologize for that straight away if that is coming across on the stream. It seems to be trying to autofocus something that isn't there. I don't know, but either way, back to the football. Gittins, I thought, played very, very well. The one thing with Gittins, he has to, because he can take a player on Gittins. You got to see that yesterday because we were electrifying going forward. Our front three of Estevão, Liam Delap, who started the game, I thought he had a good couple of chances. Cole Palmer, Tariq George, I thought was brilliant as well yesterday. We looked solid. We looked absolutely solid going forward. And I'll be honest, I thought, looking at this lineup, I thought this is what we've been crying out for as Chelsea fans. This is exactly what we wanted. The midfield two of Santos and Caicedo was superb. Were absolutely superb. Maresca trusting Josh Ashiempong, who obviously with the injury to Levi Colwell, we know that Wesley Fofana isn't fully fit as well. So we knew there was going to be some change in that defensive line. But Josh Ashiempong put in a solid performance yesterday. Jurgensen, we have to credit, because I thought he was good as well in goal. We didn't have much to do in terms of the stats. There wasn't many chances from Bayer Leverkusen. Only had 2 on target, 4 shots in total. But just look at us. I mean, last season we were saying, we would creating chances, but we weren't taking them. And if you look at these stats here, you can already see with the 3. I mean, Estevão could easily have maybe had 2, maybe even a hat-trick yesterday of goals. But 24 shots, 70% possession of the ball. 9 shots on target, 4 big chances taken, 3 big chances missed. And even if you go back to the accurate passes to Leverkusens and all the rest of it. We just out-muscled them in every way, shape, or form in that match yesterday. And that was one of the things that I think last season, yes, we could do well. Yes, we could play well. We didn't play enough attacking football and be clinical in front of goal last season. I honestly think this season, looking at the lineup that we've got here, and this isn't our best lineup, let's be honest as well. João Pedro is not in his team. Enzo did not start the game. Reece James didn't start the game. Tosin never started the game. You've got so many things that you can do with this squad now, because it's like I keep saying, this is not quality. Sorry, this is not just about having depth. This is quality and depth that we've now got at the squad, at the team. But we have to be honest. There's one standout player who started the game very, very well, looked very, very promising as the game continued throughout, and that's got to be Estevão Willian. He was everything. Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Everything he touched on that pitch yesterday, he was showing us exactly why we've brought him in and why we needed someone like him. Estevão Willian is going to be a problem. He's going to be an absolute... From the moment the game kicked off yesterday, he was doing everything right. He was making the space, creating space. And one thing he did do, and I know sometimes we criticize, we criticize players for this, but he was being greedy. He was being absolutely greedy, but I wasn't annoyed by it. I wasn't disappointed by it. I didn't think, I don't want to see him do that. He was being greedy. He was being absolutely greedy, and I think he needed to be greedy. I think he needed to show Maresca, he needed to show Chelsea fans what he was capable of doing, and he done that yesterday, and he done it superbly. He done it in a way that was, it wasn't just being greedy, but it was definitely someone that I thought we need to make sure we've got him ready for next season, because he's going to be an absolute problem in our squad. The goal that he scored as well was brilliant. It was a brilliant goal that he was able to take. He almost like finessed it into the goal. It wasn't scruffy, but he definitely finessed it into the goal a little bit. And I thought, there's not many players that would do that. So most players would either lash it in and it could go anywhere, could go over the bar, but he was able to just control the ball, left foot as well. And you could see what it meant to him in terms of the goal. It was just everything. Everything you could ask for a debutant to do that in the way that he done that. Yeah, there's nothing more that we need to see from Estevão Willian. He has to be, in every way capacity, he has to be in that starting lineup. He is going to be a world-class player. And I don't mean just world-class in terms of, the fact that, he's come from Brazil, Neymar, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. I'm talking he's going to be an absolute legend. And I hope that's at Chelsea. I hope he does that at Chelsea, because it's clear as day. He's going to be one of the best players. He's going to be one of the best players at the club. You can just see that. Before we move on to the rest of the game, I've just come across this. And I want to know what you guys in the chat think about this. Because I believe yesterday after the game, Maresca was asked. But even that, look at that. So Chelsea are considering a move for Ronald Araujo. I think that's how you say his name. Maybe I've just butchered his name. After losing Levi Colwill to an ACL injury, Barca would entertain offers of around 50 million euros. I don't think we need to do that. I generally don't think we need to be spending 50 million on a central defender that's going to want to be the main guy. He's going to want to be the guy at the game in every game. So what do you do when you've got Levi Colwill? You have your man here. You got Wesley Fofana. You got João Pedro. You've got too many players in the same positions that are going to want to be playing first team football every single time that they get a chance to play the game. I don't think we need to do this. I think if we panic by a centre-back, because, okay, I still can't decide if Bayer Leverkusen were poor or whether we were actually really good yesterday. But either way, we still had to do a job on the pitch, and we done that. We played very well, done brilliant football. We defended really well as a unit. I don't think going and panic buying in the market is the right solution for this. I really don't. I don't think we need to go in and buy another centre-back. I really don't think we need to do that. It's just pointless doing that, because what do you do when you've got Levi Colwill fully fit again? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. Don't get that. But let's get back to the match yesterday. Let's talk about some of the other stuff after we speak about the game. But just in terms of Jamie Gittins, so this is what he said after the game. I just want to win games for Chelsea and compete for big titles. That is the main thing. Individually, I want to improve as a player, learn from everyone, and just try to do the best I can for the team. Now, I thought Jamie Gittins yesterday looked very, very, very good. Very good. Looked very good on the ball. He looks comfortable. He doesn't look like a player that will struggle to fit in at Chelsea. Someone said something on the internet, I think on Twitter earlier on today. They said he looks like the type of player that, one of those ballers that you see playing like Sunday League football, and you ask the question how they never made it as a pro. He made it as a pro. He's one of those ones that slipped through the net and actually made it to the actual dream that he should have done, because he can bob in and out of defenders. He's quick on the ball, low sense of gravity. Everything you want in a winger, he's got it. He looked very comfortable. The only criticism I've got of him so far, and it was giving me flashbacks of Noni Madueke, was when you're through in on, you can cut the ball in or you can take on a defender. You don't do that, and you stop, hold the ball for even half a second, let everyone regroup, get back into their positions from the opposition's team, and it slows the game down too much. And I think when you do that, you have to get that out your game. Hopefully Maresca's identified that and can address it, because I don't think we want to see another. Because if you remember, when Noni Madueke came to the club, he was a breath of fresh air. He was actually very good. He looked very good. We kept saying that he's got all the attributes of being able to be a very good winger. The problem was his decision making was really, really poor, and still is. And I think sometimes he'd slow the game down very much. He'd take the player on, hold up the ball, and then he'd either pass it back to the right back, or he'd pass it into midfield. He'd never really make that clinical pass into the box. We need to see that from Gittins. We need to see the opportunities where he's going to get the ball into the box and provide service to Liam Delap, João Pedro, whoever's playing up front, because he's a very tidy footballer. And I like the fact that he's able to just take on defenders with ease, no pressure, and he does it really well. I thought he done really well yesterday. This is Gittins as well on Enzo Maresca. Just trying to score and assist goals to impact the game, as well as take on my man both sides, left and right, have an end product and work hard. Again, he's saying all the right stuff. They did ask him that after the game, and I think if he can work on that, then he'll be fine. He'll be fine at the club. He's just got to work on certain things. Here's what he said as well about Cole Palmer. He said, I spoke to Cole quite a bit. He said, come to Chelsea. It was that simple. That's all he said. Talked to Romeo as well. Know him a bit from the Man City Academy, Liam Delap as well. So you can already see, one thing I got to see yesterday was you could tell Estevão, Cole Palmer, and I'm assuming Gittins will be the same. They're all going to link up. It's all going to, eventually you'll see, because you could see yesterday, very early on in the game, how easy it was for Cole Palmer to link up with Estevão. You could see it. It was just so easy to see. Very, very easy. Shamelessly as well, we had to lift. I don't know if you guys got to see this at the end of the game, but yeah, we shamelessly had to lift the trophy. Shamelessly, we lifted it, but there's a bit here. I don't know if they'll show it, but there's a bit when, they won't show it. I think it's Trevor Chalobah and Jurgensen. There's almost a bit of embarrassment of taking the trophy, but I mean, there's Estevão's goal. He took that goal very, very well. Very well. Like that goal that he scores. Because if you watch it here now, that's not an easy goal to score. It looks very easy, kissing the badge and everything. But it looks very easy, that goal. But I'm telling you from now, that is not an easy goal to score. It's not an easy goal because you got to cushion it down. You got to cushion it down. Absolute legends. 2 Brazilians as well scoring for us. I think we might be back. I generally think, I've said it before this game, so this is not me reacting to the Leverkusen game last night, but I generally think if we can get a match-winning goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that's going to get us over the line when we're under the cosh and we need someone to be amazing in goal, I generally think we win the Premier League. Even without Cole Palmer. Because we were brilliant yesterday. Everything was brilliant about the way that we was playing. The football was brilliant. Everything was solid about how we were playing. It was just solid. It was a solid performance from start to end. We didn't even have any, credit in Jurgensen. He didn't even have much to do. He didn't have that much to do. So, yeah, I don't know. As I said before, I don't know why, but my camera's moving a bit crazy at the moment. It's trying to auto-focus onto something. I don't know. It should be focusing on me, but it's auto-focusing on something else. So apologies if the camera seems a bit blurry. I don't know what it's trying to focus on, which is really annoying during a live stream. But we're here. This is what we got to do. We have to run with these things as we do. Second goal. Let's talk about some of the subs that came on as well. Let's go back to the subs, because the subs were brilliant as well. We have to credit the subs that came on. He made a lot. Everyone got a game. Everyone got minutes yesterday. Obviously, João Pedro, Tosin, and Dario Sugo as well. Pedro Neto. I mean, look, let's talk about Heto first, because I think there was a lot of hype around him. I hyped him up on this channel. He looked good. He looked very good. And for someone who's 19, I have no worries that he'll fit into this squad. And I think he's come here knowing that he's not the number one. He's not going to be fighting straight away with Cucurella to overtake Cucurella. Because Cucurella, again, was immense yesterday. He was a warrior. So I think he knows he's coming in to learn, to understand that he's going to get his opportunities, but he has to wait his turn. He has to bide his time. He might get left centre-back opportunities. There'll be games in the Champions League. I'm sure he'll be playing in those. As I said, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, he'll be involved in those games as well. But he looked very, very comfortable. Debut at Stamford Bridge, he looked comfortable. He looked very, very comfortable. And I have to say the same. Even a commentator said this, actually, but even Dario Sugo looked very comfortable. I think they dubbed him, they couldn't tell if it was, I was going to say Claude Makelele, not Claude Makelele. They couldn't tell if it was Moises Caicedo on the pitch or Dario Sugo. And that tells you just how good he is. He's built, his physique, he's strong. He knows how to pick out a good pass. Look, I mean, we would be silly to let him leave this club. Even on loan, I think he needs to stay at the club. And I think we need to utilize him. Again, very much like Heto in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We have to do all of those things. And make sure that when we do use him, we're using him in the right way. We have to use him in the right way. Because there will be injuries in that midfield. There are going to be suspensions with Moises Caicedo, with Enzo, with Lavia, who just seems to be looking like he's enjoying the vibes at the moment. He was sat behind the dugout yesterday. He was just chilling. He was just getting paid to sit there and watch the game. But yeah, he looked good. He looked very good. Very, very good as Sugo. I was impressed with him at the Club World Cup. And I was impressed with him yesterday as well. He looked solid. Absolutely solid on the ball. Another option for Maresca in midfield. Another option. Really good option for him. We spoke about Gittins, who came on as well with João Pedro. Let's talk about his goal, because João Pedro, for me, there's two things. One, I thought, I don't want to criticize Liam Delap, because I don't think he played badly at all. I don't think he didn't have a bad game, Liam Delap. I thought he played really well. But I think he was struggling I think with Delap, I think he likes the ball over the top. He likes to receive the ball over the top so he can run onto it. He is strong. He can take on defenders. He can muscle defenders off the ball. It's not a problem for him. I think my worry is that sometimes the ball is going to be played very intricate in between defenders. He's not always going to get the ball over the top. Sometimes you are going to have to, work with the wider players, the 10 and the wingers to help transition the ball. we got to see the two differences of how we might play tactically with the two number 9s. One with Liam Delap, who I thought, again, played very well. I think he had one shot in the game, snatched a couple of other chances. But when João Pedro came on, oh my God, you could see the difference. And again, I'm not criticizing Liam Delap for this because I think he played very, very well. I thought he was it was just a very good performance from him. I think my problem with him is he's very, not one-dimensional, but I think João Pedro gives you a lot more options in terms of what he needs to do, how he links up with the midfielders, how he times his runs very, very well. He does all that. He does all of those things. And I think when you've got someone like João Pedro who can play across the front three of the midfield, he can play in that attacking role. Again, he took his goal really well. And I have to ask the question, does Nicolas Jackson score that goal? Does Nicolas Jackson score that goal that João Pedro scored yesterday? I don't think he does. I don't think he has the confidence, Nicolas Jackson, to even take that goal the way that João Pedro does in the position that he isn't just in front of the goalkeeper. I don't think he takes that shot on and scores. It was a breath of fresh air to see an attacker attack. It was amazing I can't believe I'm saying that, but an attacker attacking the goal in good fashion as well. Not just doing what Jackson does, holding up the ball, which I praise him for, and, making the right runs, which I praise Jackson for, but actually making the opportunities work for themselves, actually doing something that's going to be beneficial, try and score the goals, be in the right position to score the goals. All the things that João Pedro was doing yesterday, Nicolas Jackson always struggles to do. So, yeah, I was impressed with João Pedro. I thought he played very, very well. Came on, he got just under 30 minutes of the game. Reece James, again, I thought came on, and you can tell that the Stamford Bridge faithful love him. And I think this is why when people said that, he could potentially leave the club, when there was talk about him maybe going to Madrid before Trent went there, I don't think he goes. I think out of all the Cobham players, the Cobham graduates that we call them, he's the one that I think, and you can tell, one thing I noticed at the Club World Cup was that the owners, Todd Bowley, said something to Donald Trump, which could be anything. But as soon as Reece James came up, you could just see there's a sense of I don't know how to put it, like a sense of not pride, but there's he's happy. Todd Bowley's happy he's got a Reece James in his team, and he's made him like almost a bit like the face of the club a little bit. And I don't know how I'm trying to explain this, but he feels like he's the player that he's got a very good bond, I think, with the owners. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. He's got a very good bond with Todd Bowley. You can see that there's clearly, obviously he's club captain, so he's going to have some sort of responsibility and leadership at the club, but you can just see that there's something there with him. And I don't think Reece James, even if that Real Madrid was there, the offer before they signed Trent was on the plate for him, I don't think he'd leave. I think he's the only player, if you remember with the Mason Mount, when Mason Mount left and he made that sort of cryptic post about, the people that help you carry the stuff and all the rest of it, Reece James is the only one now that's really left outside that bunch of players that's part of the group, part of the Cobham group. So, but he came on, he played very well. There was a piece of skill that not many defenders would have the audacity to try, even in a pre-season game. And I don't know if anyone remembers this, but in the game, the ball's in the air, it comes down. I think it was a miss kick actually from Jurgensen to start off with. I think Jurgensen doesn't kick the ball very well. And it comes back over, it's in the air, and Reece James, the touch back to Jurgensen. Listen, there's not, again, when we talk about Reece James and his injuries, and I talk about them a lot on here, but when he's on his day, in his prime, he is arguably one of the best defenders, one of the best right backs in the world. Because that touch yesterday was just, if I could show you, I could, but the video will get taken down. But you go back and watch it. It'll be on Twitter or somewhere. But you just see that touch from Reece James. It's amazing. It's amazing. Let's talk about Anselmino. Again, another player that looked comfortable, came on, got just under 15 minutes of the game. He looked comfortable and came on alongside Samrak Saki and Genesis Antwi as well, who again, these are players that are on the fringe, that they're on the cusp of getting into the senior squad. Antwi, I think, and Raksaki, I think both have played, if not in the Conference League, they definitely played in the competitive, the domestic cups, I'm pretty sure, last season. But Antwi looks like a very good player. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was either, it might have been the Conference League that he played a couple of games in. But yeah, Antwi and Raksaki, I think, are the next two. When we talk about Tariq George and Achiempong, I think these two, Raksaki and Antwi, are the next two to come from that sort of Cobham background. So yeah, I was impressed with the whole team yesterday, the whole team. And like I said, I don't know if that was because they played really bad in terms of Bayer Leverkusen, or we just were really good. I just couldn't work it out. I couldn't tell. Appreciate the comment there, Loco Coco Pops. I think that's true. I think it's true. My camera's really doing my head in though. It keeps trying to autofocus. No, I think that's true. I think it is like a sense of pride from, because with Todd Bowley, you know, I'd imagine Todd Bowley's one of these people. If he likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't like you, you might be on the list of players that will be out the door in the next 12 months. He's one of those kind of, I think he's one of those kind of people that there's no in between with him. He either likes you or he doesn't like you. He rates you or he doesn't rate you. It's one of those kind of things with him. But yeah, I think in terms of Reece James, I thought he was brilliant. I thought the whole team was brilliant. And one thing, I think we mentioned this on the podcast yesterday actually, but there's one thing that I think is definitely really visible to see is the fact that there seems to be a lot of togetherness in this team now. You know, last couple of seasons, especially with the takeover, there's always been this sort of like hostile, toxic environment at Chelsea. It feels like that's gone. It feels like we're almost getting back to that kind of togetherness a little bit, you know, and that's I generally think that all comes down to the fact that these lot have won the Club World Cup and the Conference League, and they're enjoying their football now. I think it all just comes down to that for me personally. It just comes down to the fact that the team and the club all want to everyone's on the same page now. You know, there's no egos in there. There's no one trying to like, you know, I want to play more games than that person, this person and that. Everyone understands their role. And maybe that's why Nicolas Jackson is being moved on. Maybe he's part of that sort of, you know, I'm an ego player. Maybe that's why the club have said, actually, we've got two players in now, in João Pedro and Liam Delap, and both of them know their role. Both of them know that they're going to have to manage the minutes and get their opportunities. You know, you could see that when Liam Delap came off and João Pedro scored, you could see a hint of disappointment in Liam Delap's face, but that's what we want. We want to see some competitiveness in our squad, and we want to see our number nines annoyed that they haven't got the goal. We want to see our number nines annoyed that they haven't got the goal that could win us the game. So I'm happy with that. I want to see that. I want to see a healthy competitiveness from our players, but I also don't want egos when they're snatching flipping penalty balls off players, and there's arguments between him and Madueke in a Premier League game. So if Jackson has to go, he has to go. It's one of those. It's simple. Let's see if there's any other Chelsea news to talk about before we move on to AC Milan tomorrow, which I am looking forward to. I'm gutted I'm missing the game, but I'm definitely going to be catching the full game in its entirety as soon as I get back home, because yeah, it's and also, yeah, we forgot to mention Estevão was named man of the match yesterday. He deserved it. He was everywhere yesterday. He absolutely deserved his man of the match yesterday. If he's doing that against Bayer Leverkusen in a pre-season friendly, listen, if I was a left back in the Premier League and I was watching that, I'm already thinking I've got problems here already, because it was an absolute nightmare yesterday. I don't think there's much team news, transfer news that's come out today. This is interesting though. This is from yesterday. This is Fabrizio Romano. Apparently, we are still likely to let Renato Vega leave Chelsea despite the injury to Levi Colwill. I think a lot of that around Levi Colwill, if I'm honest, I think a lot of it, it's going to be a lot of hearsay, a lot of speculations and who we go for and all the rest of it. I said yesterday, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not too concerned about the fact that we don't have Levi Colwill. It's a massive injury. It's a massive loss for us. But am I that concerned by it? I don't think I am. I don't think I am. Sorry, just having to send a message. Yeah, Levi Colwill, massive injury, but Renato Vega, it's a shame because he wants to play defense. So ideally, Maresca should be giving him the opportunity to play in defense. It doesn't seem like he is. Still no change on this news here. Does anyone actually think we're going to get 80 million? I mean, if we get 80 million for Nicolas Jackson, then that's a really good deal. It's a massive good deal. I mean, we paid 35 million for him 2 seasons ago. So to get him for this price, I think would be amazing. Would be brilliant, actually, to be fair. I think even if we got, I don't know, 60 million, it's still a profit. Like anything above 50 million is a profit in my eyes. And to be fair, I said yesterday, he's got double digits in both seasons. He hardly takes the penalties and he's done well. He's done what he needed to do at Chelsea, but I think it is time to move him on now. I think if he's going to have that egotistical behavior, then I think it is time to move him on because you don't want anyone that's going to come in and disrupt what is going to hopefully be a successful season at Chelsea. You want to make sure that your team is he's definitely up there, 100%. Let's move over to the game tomorrow. Let's move over to tomorrow's game. Because I think we will put out a very strong lineup again. We did on yesterday against Bayer Leverkusen. There will be, I think, swaps and changes. Obviously, Jurgensen played yesterday. Let's try and predict the squad for tomorrow. I think we will see Robert Sanchez tomorrow. I think he'll be given his chance in goal. It's only right. It's hard because everyone really got game time yesterday, didn't they? Ashiampong, Gusto, Reece James. You obviously don't want, you're watching loads of games. I was just watching the Everton game before with Roma. Mikalenko came off, so it looked like a groin injury. You don't want any of your players at this point in the season, so close to it now. The opening game next Sunday, you don't want any of your players to get injured. So do you start with Reece James and maybe bring on Malo Gusto? I think I would. And I think I'd start with Tosin. And Slamino. And I think I'd start Hito. I think I'd start that as the back line. I think I'd have to start with Enzo Fernandez. And I think I'm going to start Asugo in that game. I think we need to rest Santos. And I think we rest Caicedo and we bring those on in the second half. And I think here, I start Pedro Neto. I think I start Gittins again on the left. Tariq George could come on second half. And I think here, I don't think Estevão is going to start tomorrow. I don't think he starts. He may not even come on. I think he might get a couple of minutes, but I don't think he'll start him. I think. Do you play Cole Palmer there? I tell you what I would like to see. I'm going to go with Palmer as the 10. Although he nearly got his ankle snapped yesterday. Don't know if anyone got to see that, but and then I think I start João Pedro. I feel like this is a very imbalanced team, but I think we have to give minutes to the players that we need to give them minutes to. I think Gittins, needs to start with Heto. I think James needs to start. I think Neto needs to start this game. Fernandez, Asugo, who I thought was brilliant. You rest Santos, you rest Caicedo, you rest Estevão. I think Liam Delap will come on second half. You can give you some minutes to Trevor Chalobah second half as well. Gusto, Ashiampong again. So I think I would go with that squad tomorrow. I think that would be my lineup. But to be honest, with Maresca, it could be a mixture of anything. You know, this is preseason. This is what it's for. This is what you want to do with your squad. You know, you want to try and get the best out of the team. So I think that's what I would go with personally. Let's have a look at Milan's form recently. Let's look at the head-to-head first of all. I was going to say we played Milan a couple of times. In the Champions League, recent times as well, 2022. We beat them in the San Siro, if you remember that big game. I think that was that Graham Potter? I think his time over there. We then won in the Champions League as well, 3-0. We've actually got a really decent record against AC Milan. A really good record against them. 4 wins, 1 draw. Yeah, really impressed there. Let's just have a look at the form. The form tells you, I mean, look at that. We're in good form. 5 games, no losses. They did beat Perth Glory 9-0. But it's Perth Glory. I actually did see that game against Liverpool. They were good. They were very good against Liverpool. This was a good game. You have to remember, they've got some good players in the team. You know, Rafa Leao, Loftus-Cheek, Fofana. They've got some... Christian Pulisic was very good for them in that game as well. Got Tomori, Mike Maignan. Could be giving us a here's what you could have had tomorrow. So they've got a really good bench as well. They've got Estepinen as well. That's just signed for them from Brighton. Yunus Musa as well. They've got a very good squad. I think they'll give us a different game to what we got to see against Bayer Leverkusen. I think it'd be a completely different game. It'd be a bit more competitive. The only thing I will say is they're probably just about to finish their game against Leeds United in Dublin. So I don't know whether they're going to have their full squad out today. Let's check actually. Let's check their squad because I'm pretty sure they were playing today actually. Am I not mistaken, or I just got that wrong? Yeah, so they're playing right now. So they've just played now. Let's see what their lineup was that they had out today. This was in Dublin. So they had Okonfor, Estupina. So they had they didn't use the Rafa Leaos, and they didn't use a lot of the squad that they are probably going to use tomorrow. Like Mike Maignan's not in that team either. There's no Loftus-Cheek that I can see. No Rafa Leao. So I think they're saving their best team for us tomorrow. Just looking at their bench as well, they obviously didn't take a lot of the players with them to the game. A lot of the players that will be playing tomorrow look like they've been rested. Some of the key players that will be involved tomorrow only got 10 minutes, if that. So all these players here are going to be playing tomorrow. 100%. They'll be playing some more game time tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to the game. Should be interesting. I still think we win. I still think even if we change the squad around a little bit, that we could have maybe Cole Palmer as the 10, and you have Estevão again. But I just think with the quick turnaround, the 48 hours, I just can't see that happening. I can't see that happening at all. I want to see Anselmino. I want to see Asugo. I think it's important for them to get some more minutes because there are question marks about do you loan them out. Personally, I would keep Asugo. Anselmino, there's a lot of talk about him being a very, very good player at Chelsea. So amongst the coaches. So I think if he does stay, then there's a role for him, but I think we need to see them. We need to give them minutes so that they can definitely give us an opportunity to see what they can do. And if they do need to go out on loan, they go out on loan. But Asugo, I think we need to keep him. So I think both of those two have to start. It'd be interesting if Maresca actually changes something tactically as well, because one of the things I found in the first half was that we just weren't, yes, we were attacking really well, but we just weren't getting Liam Delap involved in the game as much. And I think when you play against certain teams that play a low block or they don't play a high line, you are going to struggle. Liam Delap might struggle in those sort of games. So it'd be interesting to see if we do. If we don't, then I don't know, but it'll be interesting. It will be interesting, 100%. But let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video. As always, we're going to be back. I I need to go and find a new iPad after smashing my iPad yesterday. So that's what I'm about to do before the 5:30 kickoff. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We're going to be back with a match review of the game tomorrow after the game. So make sure you hit this channel for that. This camera will not be doing that tomorrow, 100%. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We will be back tomorrow. We're out.